And we're live. Hey, thanks for taking a little bit of your Saturday with us in our annual Halloween episode. Hey there, Mr. C. How are you doing?
You know, it's funny. The screen just said, as far as what you and I can see, you are live! Exclamation point. And here we are for the third annual, three consecutive Fanboy Cantina channel. Oh, look who's showing up! Who we didn't think was going to show up?
There you go. Yeah, well, I don't know. So, in the comments here, uh, I hope you guys dressed up. So, for me, this is a shirt that I happen to just have lying around. Not really a costume. My Boba Fett. I actually used this running one year. Yeah, this counts as my costume for today.
All right, Chai Star, since you're asking about the color, look, I'm a black cat talking about a witch and Agatha all along. Okay.
Oh my goodness, awesome! Yes, Jim Campbell fanboys all along, and let's go. All right. Well, this is great. It's been a while since our last live stream together, so I'm happy to have this time with you, Mr. C, and with everybody else who's watching. Mr. C, what's been new and interesting? What have you been up to?
New and interesting today. I'm having the realization
Huh.
that looking at 3 years ago was the WandaVision TV show. So again, the passage of time. Uh, 3 years ago we were talking about WandaVision, and now here we are 3 years later. But
Hmm.
in my local neck of the woods here, in short format here, tomorrow we got the Kane County Toy Fair, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to, as I had
Ooh.
Gary Ray, artist and movie maker and musician. I'm looking to. I've watched this now. His independent picture, The Creep.
Uh-huh.
So I'm looking to get this material on my channel soon enough to talk about Gary's The Creep and many other good items on the horizon, on the shores, in the imminent future coming around. My friend, how do you answer your same question? What do you have cooking in your cauldron, if you will?
Oh my goodness. Well, I saw Venom 3 last night. I saw it with my son. That was a movie. It had a beginning and an end in the middle. And if you're a fan of the first two movies, you'll probably enjoy this one. You can check out the out of the theater reaction with me and my boy from last night. Other things on deck, I'm just kind of easing into Halloween. It kind of crept up on me this year.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
So let me say there was the movie itself, the Venom
yeah.
3 movie.
Hmm.
And then separate but related to the movie, there was the review. And
Yep.
we like to keep historical tabs around on things around here. So is this the first out of theater reaction that was a father and son fanboy, son of fanboy that came across this very channel?
Yes, that was a first of ever first one with my son, I think, ever on this channel. No, he was in. So if you were to go years upon years back, we unboxed the Jabba sail barge, but what that was like 4 or 5 years ago now at this point. And this was the first time doing an out of the theater reaction movie. I haven't been seeing as many movies in the theater this year. Watch a lot on streaming, or I've been, I don't know, more judicious about what I go out to the theater to go see. I don't know if Venom 3 would be the one that I would recommend. Maybe not, but it was good to get out. It was good to get out of the house. Yeah. So uh, Mr. C, if we take a trip into the Wayback Machine, what if So it's Halloween. Um, we grew up together back in Chicago back in the day, and I have a handful of memories. But we're just talking about this. Like I can't think that far back. I can't remember that far back. Like all the costumes that I ever wore. What would be like a memorable either Halloween costume or Halloween moment that you've got from way back when?
Well, again, so this is has been for many a year and will continue to be our ongoing bit of at what point did we first become friends? I claim kindergarten, you claim first grade. So then the period of time I will begin referencing, it is not in contest. I'm getting a Simpsons comic book guy kind of cadence to my speech. So let me rewind on. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but, but
It's
okay.
okay.
So it was a time in which for sure we knew each other, but it remains whose side of the fence are you on, if we were yet friends or not. So that kindergarten year of ours, I was a devil. And I definitely had a tail and a costume. And I remember distinctly trick or treating that night or that afternoon, that it was really cold. So tiny kindergarten Mr. C had on his winter coat over his devil costume. Over, there's the costume, there's the cape, there's the hood, there's the horns, there's the whole thing. There's the pitchfork emblem across the chest. Oh man, Chai Star's just dissecting us here. We're gonna have some. Okay, but look, I'm a black
Yes,
man
this
talking
counts.
about the
This
movie.
counts ish. So you're a devil wearing the jacket.
But and I think that's somewhat of a universal across the years. Memory is, I've seen in various formats and various posts, other people say, well, nobody wanted to have a jacket or a coat or a snow coat or a raincoat or what have you on over their costume, because as a kid you just wanted to be all in, all along on your Halloween gear.
Yeah, that's kind of among the rough parts of Halloween in Chicago. The weather crapshoot. I'm here in California. The weather is kind of the same all the time. Not really, but it's like within a reasonable bounds, right? And it tends to not. I mean, I'm probably going to jinx it. It tends to not rain during Halloween out here, and you can typically walk around without a coat, without a jacket. I remember one year being really sad about it. It's like a traumatic memory. Not really. Where I was excited to go trick or treating, and then it's just dumping rain, or the weather is just terrible, and yeah, I can't go anywhere. I couldn't go out. I didn't go trick or treating.
Savage. Uh,
Savage.
we got we got
We got
some
comments. Let's
comments.
catch up here. And hey, Mandarin, thank you for taking the time to come on. And oh man, trying to pull off this costume thing like we a bunch of drunk preschoolers. No, see, this counts. This sort of counts. It,
I'm a
yeah,
fan of Fanboy costume
yeah,
and a
that's
black
right.
cat all at the same time.
One year, so my boy's birthday is in late October, and so we had a party one time here, and I entered the living room, and I was wearing my Boba Fett hoodie, and I don't know what else, and then one of the moms said, "Oh, hey, Greg, you dressed up. That's really cool." And I said, "This is not a costume. I don't normally wear this anyway around the house." Um, but it's all good. I, I don't remember your devil costume back in the day.
I'm
One of
sorry,
the
because you don't
costumes.
remember if we were friends.
Well, because I didn't know you in kindergarten, man. but
Uh,
separate, but separate from that, around that time frame, yeah, I think it was more like first grade. I have to check out the years. One of my favorite years was Buck Rogers.
oh wow.
Yeah, and so my mom had uh, put together this. It was an era of homemade costumes, a little more
That's right.
common, or something like that. You had the Ben Cooper stuff, and then homemade costumes, and then kind of not much else to choose from. So my mom had gotten this for me, this white turtleneck thing, and put the piping and stuff. I had a helmet. I loved that costume. That was one of my favorites. I don't know if there was an actual Ben Cooper. I mean, could you get a Gil Gerard? Now I gotta look on eBay. Could I get a Gil Gerard uh, Ben Cooper mask to put on
I
my
wouldn't
face?
be surprised, because the Ben Cooper people were trying to cover all the bases and all the
Right.
intellectual properties and all the popular figures at the time. But super cool for mom shout out to all the moms across all the generations, across all the years, putting together the whether it's at the sewing table or the crafting table or the creativity of their mind. Shout out to all the moms and the dads getting the costumes together that were not bought out of the box.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, so I gotta catch up. Excuse me to some of the comments. You fellas dressing up and doing live stream on Halloween. We're probably out managing Halloween, so that's probably not a thing for me. Uh, let's see. I remember I was so excited to have costumes on the live stream. Oh wait, that's every live stream. Yes, yes, yeah. Yeah, yes, a live stream on Halloween is certainly a nice idea. See, in my neighborhood, we don't get many kids coming up to my house. It's really unfortunate, or maybe not too unfortunate, because I get all these Kit Kats and Reese's peanut butter cups, knowing I'm going to consume all of them anyway, because we just don't get a lot of trick or treat. And yes, Fanboy G saying no, 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 yeah, to the cosplay, exactly. So, anyways, oh man, oh well, the Mandarin, excellent, dressing up as Chewbacca. That is a awesome thing to dress up as.
Now, under
And
standard conditions, Mandarin has politely chosen to remain the man of mystery in the comment section.
yeah,
But given the costume, and again, maybe we're not really doing live, but would Chai Star, as long as they're heckling us from the from the virtual stage, retort to the hecklers? Would you guys care to jump in on a costume live stream Halloween if we did go? And Mandarin, would you open the link and accept the invitation, but keep your true identity well hidden while you're True Mandarin
oh,
Baka?
true Mandarin. That's interesting. Yes, nicely played. Nicely played. Oh man. Well, looking at my list, I do have a list of other things. I do also remember having, I think, only two Ben Cooper masks, or there were two brands, right? There was, begins with a C. There was the Ben Cooper, and then there was another. Anyways, the plastic mask kind of action. I had a Shogun Warriors one
Ooh,
with the Mazinga thing. That
my
was
favorite of the guys.
that was perfect. And I also remember having a Batman one, but this was probably like when I was 5 or something. You know, it never fit right, and because they don't. Yeah, I remember that. Did you have any of the face mask ones?
Well, face mask. So besides this,
Yes,
black cat,
besides the black cat.
well,
Yes.
whichever year it was, I was a skeleton, so there was a a skull face, to go. The year I did Angel from the X-Men or Warren Worthington, definitely I had a like a Robin Domino mask and like a black hood to replicate the OG, the original X-Men, the '05, the first 5, the look of the Angel from the '60s. As I said, I had the devil hood and stuff. I know I did a ghost one year, so then I had to be totally immersed in the ghost sheet. Uh, I'd have to dig around deeper to try to recollect what else might have been.
I wonder where all these photos are, right? You know, our folks took pictures of us back in the day. For myself, I have no idea where those pictures are. They're somewhere, assuredly. But yeah, I had no idea. That angel costume sounds amazing.
And as Campbell's Corner comes to
Oh
play
yeah,
here,
yeah.
uh,
Let's go.
so again, Mr. Just as I said, what maybe it was last year, maybe it was the year before, but just the heartbreak of it was, I had cut the wings out of cardboard, and if you're not familiar with the original, it was a black and yellow, so people thought I was a bumblebee. And then
Oh,
there's young, pre comic book Simpsons guy, me thinking, I am not a bumblebee. I am Angel from the X-Men. None of you understand me or what I'm trying to do here.
oh man, that's brutal. It just happens.
But when you're all in on your X-Men, on your Marvel, on your nerd culture, on your comic book
Yeah,
appreciation, then you'll take the slings and arrows of being misunderstood as a bumblebee.
absolutely. Now this is a favorite memory for me. You and I, what,
As
maybe
grown people.
20 years ago
Yeah.
now? More than that, maybe? We were Cato and Green Hornet at a local Chicago area comic book convention, and that was a great time. That was
That
a
is
really a
absolutely.
great time.
And I know that picture is not far, but it seems like every show I have something just slightly
You have a
out of
problem.
reach where I can't find
Uh,
it. But I did recently throw it up on the screen on anyway. So yes, that was good stuff. As was the follow up to that for Chai Star and I to go Storm Shadow and Snake Eyes again as grown
yes.
people within the Comic Con format.
Very nice. Mandarin says, I'll think about it. I'll be in costume, but might be kind of creepy, as I'll be in full character and speaking in Chewbacca language.
Oh, that would
Yeah,
only enhance that.
yeah,
That
that
would bring us
makes it
to a
all
new
the
level.
better. Yeah,
That would bring us to a new level.
awesome. All right, so let's flip to our other topic here, Mr. C, which is the genius of Agatha All Along. Um, So Agatha All Along is currently airing on Disney Plus, continuing the story of Agatha Harkness as she appeared in WandaVision. Um, Mr. C, maybe to break this up a little bit, what would you say as your anticipation level, or what was your feeling coming into Agatha All Along before you ever watched an episode?
Let's say across the entirety of the modern Marvel era. Let's start at the cinema with Iron Man the first, or we could start with Blade. Okay, but let's just then comes Disney Plus. Back to stuff I no, we were at
Yeah.
Iron Man
All
one
right.
together,
Okay.
pal. So right there,
Okay.
you know what we're starting.
Yes.
We're at least at the beginning of the road that we're traveling. You were there in the early steps of the road. Like anything else, you look at the entirety of the James Bond movies. You look at the entirety of Ray Harryhausen's career, right? So it's hard a thing is defined as the peak because you are not always at the peak. So there were some Marvel things that maybe even going back within the last 2 years or year where we started to review and then we're like, okay, we're not going to finish because we didn't have so much of a good time. Okay. And we're amateurs. We're not here to be professional reviewers and review everything because we're professionals. So that being said, I was well, okay, let's see. There was talk of nobody asked for this show. However, Catherine Hahn's acting was so popular out of the WandaVision, the Scarlet Witch and the Vision Disney Plus TV show that it seemed that it had generated enough credibility to spin. So now let's talk about spin-offs, right? Let's look at Cheers to Frasier or Friends to Joey or if you have a spinoff off the top of your head, comment people in the comment section. Do you have a TV show spinoff at your fingertips? Feel free to drop that in the comments. But I'm saying now, this was a completely well executed spinoff. Is my opening thesis, if you will. G, back to you, and then we'll go into dive in, if you
Yeah.
will, into greater detail on it. What's your opening read on this subject matter?
I, I think I was similar to what you had said. I was in that category of, yeah, I didn't ask for the series. I didn't need to see this show. I have fond recollections of seeing WandaVision back when it first aired. We used to do a weekly show about every episode, and that was a tremendous amount of fun, doing that dialogue with you. And yeah, there was something to say with each one of those episodes. And now with the passage of time and some of these series are not as strong as maybe WandaVision was. Um, and also I think what made me even less interested in Agatha All Along before watching an episode was Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. I had felt that the movie was fine, but completely disregarded the setup of WandaVision. It was, you had built up this really interesting character, and now she was just a two-dimensional villain and not compelling at all. And there were, in that movie, there were so many ways to have either made her more engaging, more compelling, less of a cartoon or a caricature of this Scarlet Witch character that had built up, at least in WandaVision. So consequently, between, yeah, kind of, yeah, did I need to see a spin-off character show? Did I need to see it after the disappointment of, for me at least, a Multiverse Man? I was pretty lukewarm about it. Yeah, certainly coming in. And in the comments, we've got Jim Camp. How do we get Agatha but no White Avenger Vision spin-off? Great question.
I would hope one day we will. I would hope one day we will. Be it at Disney Plus or be it on the big screen, because I think the Vision character, and I think Paul Bettany as an actor, the character and the actor are completely cinema worthy. Or would I pay money to go see so Iron Man could hold down a solo movie, Captain America, Black Panther, and so on and so on. Ant-Man, the first two. Be fitting for Vision to have his own movie at the movie house.
Absolutely, absolutely, and especially as it seems like Marvel or the MCU is trying to get its footing back after a few rough films. Introducing a familiar character like Vision would seem to be a sensible thing to do. I guess we'll see. All right, so that's the anticipation coming into the series. How do you feel about the series right now?
So I sit down here. There comes a point in time when it's game time and episode 1 comes on, and I realize we're talking about witchcraft here, and we're talking about what happened to the character of Agatha after the Scarlet Witch put the total whammy, not just a memory whammy, but a whole reality whammy. So there's Agnes, similar name to Agatha, literally under the spell of the Scarlet Witch. And I'm thinking, okay, so it was an interesting carryover in theme, the truth and illusion. What is really going on here? What is reality? What is deception? So now we're in a procedural crime drama. And from right away, early on, within the first few seconds, one of the other detectives said, what was it, the line? I got it in the notes. Most sincerely dead, which is straight out of Wizard of Oz. So now we're carrying over the theme. We're referencing Wizard of Oz. I'm saying that there is so much going on here across the first episode, across all the episodes, across 1 through 7, so far as that which has been released as the body of work that has been available to date. I'm trying to I'm beginning to comprehend, but as we said, sometimes we'll say we can't cover an entire comic book convention because there's so much going on at a convention. We can't cover an entire Godzilla Fest because there's so much going on at a Godzilla Fest. In that same way, I can't understand everything that's being put in front of me on the screen because the references are so layered and full. There's a length, there's a width, there's a breadth, there's a lot going on. That being said, for what I am able to comprehend, what I am able to track and follow, this is way better. I didn't hope it would be this good. It is just better than I hoped. G, where are you at with it?
I'm right there with you as well. It is better than I had hoped. In the very beginning, I think it took me a little bit of time to watch the first couple of episodes. I did eventually get there. And honestly, with some of the episodes since then, yeah, I didn't watch it right away on the Wednesday. I'd watch it maybe a couple of days later or several days later. But then I got caught up. I think, though, as the series has progressed, I'm really enjoying it, and especially with oh my goodness, we have a comment here. But before we get to that comment, as the series has progressed, I love it that much more. It's such smart writing happening in this series, and it all came to head in this most recent excuse me, seventh episode. All right, and we have our very first ever super chat. Wow. Thank you, Chai Star G. What a surprise. Yeah, with the $10 super chat, buy yourself a costume.
First ever super chat on this channel. We're all right here to see it either live or on
Oh my
replay.
goodness.
Mark it down. So
Yeah.
specifically, this is an earmarked $10 that can only go towards costumery.
Custom, customary other accoutrement in the cosplay. Wow. Thank you, Chester G. So, one thing that has changed since our last our last live stream is, yeah, this thing is not fully monetized, but now you can do super chats and other kind of stuff. It's not necessary. We'll still read your comments anyway, but it's very kind. And we had a store. I feel like Sven right now.
You had a store?
We had a store for a hot minute. We had a store for using Spring, and but I just turned it off this morning because I felt like it was such a terrible experience on that store. Um, One, you don't have to buy anything from the store, and then two, if you were so inclined to buy like a mug or something, it shouldn't be a crappy experience. So we've shut it down. We'll bring it back in some fashion. But yeah, anyways, so so anyways, thank you, Chai Sarji. Very kind of you. Um, okay, let's see. So what else to say about the series here? You know, one thing that among the things that I distinctly recall and has stuck with me about WandaVision, and you'll find people I think continue to refer to that series, is how powerful it is as a reflection about grief and a reflection about grief, period. The moment where Vision and Wanda are sitting together, and Vision says, you know, what is grief but love everlasting? So powerful, so profound in just a handful of words. And, you know, having gone on my own journey about grief in the years since then, it has continued to stick with me. Um, so the in addition to the storytelling of WandaVision, which I think was still quite strong, maybe some peaks and valleys, but overall still a wonderful series. But then being able to address certain themes was phenomenal. With this series, and I'm looking at my notes down below, yeah, I think they've done an impressive job of dealing with different types of trauma, whether it's, you know, one's family, one's feeling of loneliness, or you know, the longing to find connection, and hear how the coven is bringing these individuals that were, you know, kind of astray or on their own paths now together, and they're either that much more powerful together, or they've at least addressed things that they were looking for or trying to heal from. I think is really interesting to do that in a creative way, and but still be able to talk about those themes. I think is tremendous, really.
Right. So then each character within this newly formed coven, or it's the classic story of here's a journey, a path, and we need to recruit the players. So there's overlap to the Wizard of Oz. There's overlap to and with Star Wars. We're collecting our team in the early phases of the operation, and of course, you know, we should probably eventually read the Joseph Campbell stuff for the hero's journey stuff that might allow us to comment on these things with a bit more polish. But again, we're amateurs. The concept there, the whole thing of it. So in addition, so now we're saying there's a solid foundation in the story structure. Now let's add in, I'm not familiar with these performers. I don't know the IMDb backstory of these players and these actresses, but to me, each one is putting in a really quality performance, and you have, you know, it's not like they're a a cookie cutter from one to the next. Each of them has this distinct power profile. Each of them has a distinct motivation for trying to follow along. And then you have the interplay. Well, who's going to turn evil, or is Agatha up to her old tricks and all that stuff? So now you got that going on, and then you got all the references layered to many images of witches and pagan routines and things and blah 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 blah. I mean, there's just there's so much happening here that it's just I'm enjoying it to a great extent.
Did you think that teen was going to be okay? Let's see. Hold on a second. So, if you are watching this live stream, we're assuming that you have been watching this Agatha All Along show, unless you're TriStar G. Not, but
He had his
by and
chance.
large, you have seen the show. All right. And so we're talking about the 7th episode. If you haven't seen it, might want to pause, come back at a later time, but
Or just turn the volume down.
just turn it down. Okay, yeah, turn the volume down. Did you think that teen would be Billy or one of the?
Well, so if I would have stopped to think, I could have concluded it, but my gaze was directed elsewhere. I wasn't trying to unravel that as a mystery. So I didn't realize it was going to be Billy until until Billy appeared.
I was curious if it would be if teen would be either Billy or Agatha's kid.
Right.
Reincarnated in some fashion. I thought that was maybe as equal of a chance of who that character would be. I did know, going back to something that you said, when I looked at the cast. So everybody knows some of these folks, like we got Aubrey Plaza and Catherine Hahn and certain folks. But the one that kind of stood out for me that was peculiar in the mix was Patti LuPone. So when you look at Patti LuPone and her background, Tony Award-winning actress, many I think characterizations of her would call her a diva in her own right, rightfully so. Has been in Les Mis, has been in Evita, has been on the screen as well, and so they see her in this kind of side role next to the other individuals who I'm looking at my notes. It's Shahir Zamata and Ali An. It didn't. It seemed like one of them was a little stronger than the rest. No disrespect to the others. So I thought that was maybe a little bit unusual, but now I think we could talk about this most recent episode. Episode 7 has sealed me in as a fan of the show.
As well, it should.
Yeah. I don't. For me, episode 7, which is a Patti LuPone centric episode, as the character is the witch Lilia. Is one of the best episodes I think I've seen on Disney Plus of any of these Marvel TV shows. Yeah.
As we're saying, story structure, well scripted, acting, performance, it's got me. But now, as I'm saying, there's so many references going on here, and a lot of references maybe I couldn't follow. But now we see this out of chronologic storytelling, or this time jumps forward and back, which again, it's when it lands, when that type of conceit or when that manner of affect is well utilized, it does enhance the story. And for me, it's enhancing the story right here. So now she's time slipping, she's memory slipping. And also then there's a more distinct image of younger her at the tarot card reading table with what has to be her mentor or the head of her previous coven from her youthful time. And now this actress, I didn't pull the name on the mentor figure, but the accent, everything, that has to be a direct reference to coming to, as we know, the Universal movies and Wolfman. Let me get Wolfman over. Let me get Wolfman in here. Okay. The character known as Maliva the Gypsy is the way it's billed of its era, played by Maria Ospinskaya. So now this character has the same accent or a highly similar accent to Maria Ospinskaya. Easy for me to say. And the element of, right, there's Bela Lugosi as the character of Bella in 1941, fortune telling, future telling. So your palm reading, your tarot card reading. So to me, that was, oh my gosh, here they go, pulling in deep cuts references in the best of ways. So just within this opportunity of episode 7, they already had me, but then they had me extra engaged with all of that.
The episode is so exceptionally well crafted, so well written, and as you said, with the time slipping and how it's handled, how it's done, is really engaging, really compelling, and you can see her own journey and this urgency to figure out the right conclusion here, so that her and her coven, the remaining coven, can escape. Um, and how the camera just focuses on her, just on her face, so many times. She's a truly a brilliant actress, just truly brilliant. Um, and then so as the episode unfolds, it's struggling for the right word. As the episode unfolds, it makes for a really satisfying episode, and unfortunately, I think, conclusion to this character as she figures things out. But it makes it all the more enriching, I think, for all of the episodes that have passed. So I'm going to flip up an article that I had just taken a look at a few moments ago. CBR has this, and this article called Agatha All Along, Every Lilia Caldero Prophecy and What It Means. So as you're watching the previous 6 episodes with the Lilia character, I do sometimes struggle as I get older with the characterization of older people, right? It's just sort of like, okay, are they slipping or whatever else, yada, yada, that kind of stuff. And so with her character, she's having these what appear to be, senior moments, as it's sometimes called, right? Where she is somewhere else. But when you rewatch these episodes now, they're actually they're these flashback or flash forward moments to this episode, to episode 7. It's fantastic. And so this article does help you to pick up on some of these things to help me. I'm now looking forward to rewatching all of the series again, just to get that payoff, just to revisit these moments that end up happening in 7.
I should go read that CBR article. That's got to be an enhancing experience to enrich, to further somebody's enjoyment of the show. If I can jump back one episode, we've been speaking on 7. Oh, yeah. They work chronologically out of order, so that's a green light for us to work chronologically out of order. Come episode 6, just in Billy or William in his bedroom, so, and again, there was a time then 3 years after, as for a lot of young people, your bedroom posters change in a 3-year period of time. But from the jump there, we had a Houdini poster, an Alice in Wonderland, a Bedknobs and Broomsticks, a Goofballs, which looked like it was a goof on Goonies, the Black Cauldron. So they're Disney referencing Disney. So that's a little bit self-promotional, but at the same time, it works because the idea of magic is being expressed, or different aspects of magic are being acknowledged in the movies. And let's come to the Black Cauldron. And sometimes the other side of the Black Cauldron is the sword and the stone. Then we have the swords falling down, or trying to pull the sword out of the chair instead of pulling the sword out of the stone. So it's just so packed with stuff going on. Jumping back another episode, then we're with the Ouija boards. Now we got tarot, we got Ouija, we got just so many elements of witchy things. And then comes the Ouija board to say Nicholas Scratch. So that's, I mean, again, people could go to Brewhapedia, which was a thing so I don't know, there is really a Brewhapedia, but people could look at who is Nicholas Scratch. People can read the CBR article. It's so well integrated for all the things they're putting together.
They are all in on the witchcraft storyline, all of it, all of the pieces, and bringing it to bear the Disney franchise as well, all of their platforms. It's really, really smartly done. As this show is continuing, um, I'm curious, is anybody going to make it out of this other than Agatha at the end of the day? What's the Jennifer? I think is the we've got what we only have Jennifer and Billy left, other than Agatha. Do you think that the previous witches are all truly dead, most sincerely dead? Or do you think that they may reappear somehow? Our next episode, next week, is 2 episodes, and that's the end of the series, 2-episode finale. Do you think they're most sincerely dead, or what do you think is going to happen?
This is a good question. So bring it back to I think they designed the show to be watched repeatedly so you can pick up on the layering and the references. And that takes us back to the very few seconds. Is the body most sincerely dead? And so far, where is the body? We haven't seen a body. And then even when the Green Witch, as portrayed by Deborah Jo Rupp, is dead, then in a Phoenix kind of a way, in a Pegasus from the head of Medusa kind of way, there springs new life of Aubrey Plaza as Death. So I think they're coming back. I don't think they're all the way done. So you have magic on the one side of the equation. You have the character of Death on the other side of the equation. So and I would expect there to be in episode 9 some resolution between those two sides, and let's go and let's see where it goes.
I would not be averse to them coming back in the finale. I feel bad, right? Especially with the Mrs. Hart character, where she just sort of she calls herself kidnapped in the series. She was an unwilling participant in this odyssey here on the not quite yellow brick road, but yeah, it was shocking when it's like, oh my goodness, she looks like she's dead. And then with Alice, who is trying to save Agatha from the grips of her mom, and then finds herself, unfortunately, getting all of her life force and magical powers sucked out of her to the point where she's dead. Yeah, some really horrible things that have happened to all of them, all 3 of the coven here. So I would not be. It would be nice to see them back. Curious how this is going to pan out.
And again, so I don't know if there is yet a connection for this, but again, there's the Alice in Wonderland poster, and part of the story of Alice in Wonderland is going through the looking glass or crossing from one world or one plane of existence to another. And then within the Alice in Wonderland lore, we're able to cross back out of Wonderland into the conventional reality of the character. So I don't know, is that, to be interpreted that way, or am I just am I just the guy on the board putting the strings together between the push pins, and it's not really going to materialize? But I will say it's a possibility.
Yeah. In the comments, good times, fellas, and I'm consistent in lack of topic knowledge. That's awesome. I am enjoying the different settings that they've been able to successfully incorporate into the show. So much of WandaVision, right, was you had the 50s setup, you had the Brady Bunchy kind of look, you had the other 80s, 90s sitcom kind of look, or Modern Family kind of look. And so to have that decade kind of the different settings by decade is really well done.
The story structure was replicated from the previous series, from the WandaVision series into this, but it wasn't, again, cookie cutter, an exact copy of it. It took the theme and reworked it per each trial along the witch's road. And in one of those, let me squeeze this in, right? The classic, looking at all these archetypes or all these expressions of witches through mythology and folklore, right? So you got your Hansel and Gretel story, and where's the witch trying to stick Hansel and Gretel inside her gingerbread house in this road off the path in this mysterious woods in the oven? And so in that one episode, maybe episode 3, maybe episode 4, they had to slide through the oven as their means of escape or as their means of succeeding through the trial. So again, this is just so packed with good stuff.
Packed with good stuff. If you're in the comments, if you've got particular memories or aspects of Agatha All Along that you've enjoyed, post in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. I'm looking forward to the finale for sure. After this most recent episode, as I said, I might have to try to cram in. I don't know where I'm going to get 6 hours of free time, but or six or 7 hours. Is it? No, it's not that much, right? These episodes are only about
so
40
as I was rewatching, so the credits, and again, credit to Marvel, for making end credits and mid credits more of a thing. You know, maybe the Muppets and Ferris Bueller in their time were pioneers into that. But I timed today, or I'm hitting, so it's about 6 minutes of credits. And again, maybe if you're watching the end credits, you're piecing clues together and getting a better comprehension. Or maybe, but if you're concerned, to come to what your initial point was just here, if you're concerned about trying to squeeze in the rest of your life and your entertainment in a too much entertainment kind of a world, there's about 6 minutes per episode that you can, maybe if you hit skip intro and close out of the end credits, then you subtract that. You know, mileage may vary in the mirror. You could probably have a lesser actual start to finish if that's the way you need to consume this entertainment.
I might need to reconsume that entertainment efficiently. I think I've watched all of the, appreciate filmmakers, appreciate everybody who has created the shows that we get to enjoy. But yeah, I've seen the credits one time all the way through. I'm going to skip to the next, most likely. Yeah. Anyways, all right. Well, let's get into our final topic, which is show and tell.
Oh, before we jump, please.
Final thoughts. What you got? Yeah. No, please.
We will come back after the other 2 episodes, and clearly, I can't imagine that they're going to take a dive or that they're going to tank that badly. So we will come back sometime in the near future and knock down episodes 8 and 9. But my other observations on 1 through 7 so far, again, they had as I said, there was Hansel and Gretel references. Then in the most recent stuff, you have Catherine Hahn dressed exactly as the Wicked Witch of the West. And so then we were looking at the town of Westview, the town of Eastview. You have the Wicked Witch of the East and the Wicked Witch of the West. There's a lot of referential things going on here. And then Billy Maximoff, William Kramer, is dressed like Maleficent from the Disney witches. So again, there's a lot there. And then today, as I'm watching it, it never occurred to me this way before, but so there's maybe it's episode 3, whichever one it was. So then early in the episode, you see a wolf or a 4-legged animal. Then you see a raven come and land on a tree perch. And then you see snakes coming around. So I won't profess myself to be an expert of pagan material or pagan rituals, but the little I know, so the pagan things were out in the woods and in nature, and that was all woven together in their lifestyle or in their experience of their era. So now you got just the whole thing of a haunted woods. Now, again, Star Wars in Jedi, Luke is doing his trials with Yoda. He has to go into a haunted woods. So this stuff is connecting to so many other things. And then today, for the first time, look at me getting excited. Today, for the first time, as we know, again, Wolfman fan over here. So if we're looking at the 1941 Wolfman or the 2010 Wolfman with Benicio del Toro, right? They're out in the woods. So in the Wolfman, it's not a haunted woods, but there's the idea of spell casting and sorcery and mysticism, and how does a man become a wolf. So now, just I don't know how well I can articulate it, but today, for the first time, it struck me as maybe a bridge between the pagan side of things, the witch lore side of things, and then being out in a dangerous woods where be it a familiar, be it a transmogrified character out of the Salem Seven, or what have you. So it hit me as a new way. There's some links between Wolfman mythology and pagan witch story. So that, for this time around, will conclude my thoughts on Agatha until we get to episodes 8 and 9. G, did you have any other closing thoughts, or are we ready to jump on to the next orders of business?
No, I love what you introduced there. It made me think about, so much of the Acolyte or other Star Wars, series has been about the budget, and whether the budget is matched by the quality of what is on the screen. I have not looked at any of the stats. I'm not sure if there's actually a stat out there for, what was the budget of Agatha All Along as a 9-episode series versus the Acolyte. But I think the stories out there Acolyte about 250 or 300 some odd million dollars, or what have you. This show, however, separate from budget, separate from it just reminds how important the story is, right? Going into the series, first 1 or 2 episodes, I still wasn't in. Yeah, and actually, if you watch like Christian Harloff talking about this show, his comments, I haven't seen any of his comments about it since, but I remember his comments at the top of like, "This is not the show for me," and I had felt like, yeah, that's kind of my feeling. Yeah, I'm having a good time. It's all right. And that was my distance with it. I didn't have to see every episode, right when it aired. Now, yeah, I can't wait till Wednesday to see this come to a conclusion. So it's just the quality of the writing is just paramount to anything. It's obvious, right? Maybe you can cheat a little bit with, you're going to add these spectacles or whatever else. You invest all the dollars in CGI. What the Quantumanium show, Quantum Mania thing.
Yep.
Did not like that movie at all. And it's because the writing was poor, trying to be, and they had this veneer of all the CGI to maybe cover all that stuff up. Here, the writing is just so stellar, and the craftsmanship, the care that's in there of making all these characters have their own arc and have their own story. Some of those stories are shorter than others. It's just phenomenal. So yeah, loving this show far, far more than I had ever envisioned. Yeah. And I think I think episode 7 again is something I'm going to revisit probably more than a couple of times, and I think I'll get that much more out of it. Yep.
Concur. And I did pull
Oh
transmogrified,
yeah.
though that was like a rabbit out of my hat. I didn't have transmogrified in my notes, but it came to me in the moment.
Very nice. All right, so let's get into show and tell time.
Let's go.
How many props have you got here, Mr. C? I've got like maybe 3.
I guess I have 3 or 4. So
okay, all right. I'll go with 2 at the same time here,
right.
because they are at Target. I don't know if they still have them there. At Target, when you first go into that store, there's the $3 section, or $1 or $5, whatever it is. Sometimes there's a holiday theme of whatever holiday it is, and so it's Halloween time, and I picked this up. I'm going to go to the
one shot yourself.
here.
Get me out of the way. Make room for that.
And this I think was maybe $3. Maybe it was as much as $5. I think it was $3. I think this is just absolutely amazing. as a design, as a piece. I think I'm lost for words of how much I really love the look of this. Yeah, if there yeah, there are those designer toy stores, right, where you find these vinyl figures that are, maybe 50, 75, $100, whatever it is. And this one, I feel like could have easily been in that category. Just the creativity that it is kind of spooky looking. And it's just fantastic. I think there are just two of these, the pink and the, well, I guess this would be what, strawberry and what, pistachio or mint or
Oh, so now we got flavor wise. We're talking about it is stimulating the flavor of the actual ice cream in the color, and it is in the $3 bin. How can you beat that? Now let me go additional material here. So
yeah.
this is your blacks, your hardcore purples, your oranges are your more traditional Halloween colors. Maybe we're veering a little bit in a Day of the Dead territory to highlight the pistachio and the pink, the strawberry pink, the strawberry beret.
Maybe it's
Well,
raspberry.
well done, Target. Credit to Target for having a good stock of stuff.
They've had some really cool stuff. Like the I remember we had exchanged messages about, like, they had a Palm Springs theme that I thought was particularly good. They've had some really cool stuff, but this one for me, probably single favorite thing I've ever seen in that opening section. So that's my show and tell or that's my first show and tell thing. What do you got to
Well, you
show
did a
share with the
twofer
class?
there, so I guess I'll match a twofer to a twofer. And as long as we're staying in the house of Target, Marvel is the house of ideas.
Uh-huh.
Target might be the house of the collector section.
Okay.
So this was a bit of a chase. And again, as Jim Campbell and as we've all discussed, the thrill of the chase, or does the chase exceed the grasp and what have you. So there it was at the one Target,
Mhm.
and trying to account for the glare here. Came that I found. And now, if I could reach over, and I did do a quick review, and it's still in the box in an MIB style here. We got our NECA Toonie Terrors silver screens. So I've talked about this on my channel. This is the first appearance for it here. So we got Nosferatu. Let's again take a little package art credits. Sculptor is Adrian Smith. Director is Randy Falk. Design is Jeff Trapp. Photography, Stephen Mazurik. And I always hope I'm saying packaging art, Chris Ramo. I always hope I'm saying his name correctly. But again, so we have here, as we're speaking about the familiars or the animal characters associated with witchcraft, here you got Nosferatu coming with a rat. Again, originally I thought these were not at all posable, but they do have some limited mobility. And again, just the contrast, as did we long ago look at the Mego Nosferatu and glow in the dark Nosferatu. Now I'm sorry, not Super 7, NECA right here has introduced this super cool black and white and grayscale rendering of good old Nosferatu. Again, back of the package art is some good stuff right there also. And so that was really cool. And then there's 4 characters in the series. Another one of them is Vampira. Another one of them is from They Live. But what became then, again, in Jim Campbell terminology, what became my white whale, what became my Moby Dick, what became the thing I was searching for at the top of the list. And let me say, some booberry items remain on my long-standing list, but here's where, again, from that same line, NECA, Toonie Terror, Silver Screens, Vincent Price. And again, let's get him right up to. Can you see his eyes?
Nice.
Can you see the well done sculpt job by Adrian Smith? And now again, talking about, you got a skull, you got the alternate set of hands. Again, accurate to the time period. We got a cigarette working there. You got a black cat. Again, this skull wasn't just a cut and paste of the Vampira character skull. So that again, they're so. We've talked about the photo art of Nicole Hoff. We've talked about the way Fanboy G designed this very Fanboy Cantina. The details really make a thing a thing. Credit to Nicole, credit to Fanboy. Your fanboy. Credit to
Try
TriStar
Star
G.
G.
Credit to Chai-Star G. Credit to Adrian Smith here as the sculpting person again. And now let's show the lads up together here again. So I mean, again, let me try to account for the glare, but just the detail and the black, white, gray. It's so again between the two right now. Sferatu showing more gray, Vinny Price more black, but he's got the scarf, he's got everything. It's just there's a personality being conveyed here, and this is some good stuff. So I was happy after a long-standing chase. I was about, I can't keep going to Target and looking for. Now I'm doing a Homer voice. I guess we've been watching a lot of Simpsons around here. I can't keep going to Target and looking for Vincent Price again, and there, lo and behold, came Vinny Price. So
that's
Target,
amazing.
we salute you.
That's a better Target than me, at least for the NECA section. They still, people are not buying whatever's at my Target. I think it just sort of clogs up the pegs and
Peg warming.
a little. Yeah, every Target is different. You got like the good Target, and then maybe my Target in terms of the rotation of stock. So with the exception of this thing, which is fabulous, fantastic. Yeah, sometimes the stock could go for a little bit more rotation, but yeah, with the figures that you show, the black and white treatment, the grayscale treatment is executed just so perfectly. It's just perfection. There's a little bit of a reflection to the Twinny Terrors on the card, right? Is like a little bit of a mirror.
Oh yeah. So what?
Yeah.
Did you pull the term lenticular before for when the thing shifts from left to right? So it's not exactly it's not exactly a lenticular, but it's got a good amount of it. There is absolutely a shine, as you can see with the reflection of my fingers going across there. So yeah, it is picking up from the box a little bit of skin tone color off of me. And again, what a great contrast that is, just from here to here. Here's pure black and whites and grays, but here's a reflective silver for the silver screens edition. If anybody out there knows where there is a Target that has a Vampira, feel free to drop that in the comments. I am not wildly in pursuit of a Vampira figure, but she would be a welcome addition to my non-completist collection over here.
But wasn't the Vampira the color version? Didn't that one come out at the same time as Sven?
Now again, we're amateurs. To get the exact, I would have to see the series release or the schedule release. If she wasn't in that exact same release period, then it was close in time. It was maybe one series apart, but it may well have been the same set of releases. I do think it was. I'm just not 100% sure.
Where I'm going is there a black and white Sven somewhere on the horizon? Yeah.
Maybe. Hoping. But speaking of black and white Sven,
yes, we could continue. Yes, we can
there.
Yes. Well, let's catch up before we go. So great. Yeah. So we got the great sculpting, and our Target sucks. And oh yes, I like the foil embossing on the logo. So that's the right terminology here. And then yes, as the creator of the Fanboy Cantina logo and other things, Chai-Star G says I do some cool stuff now and then. Thanks, guys. So that's very nice. And actually, everybody should check out Chai-Star G on Instagram. You can see him at Itahara Art, I think. Golly, what is the posting? If you can, post your IG handle, if you could, Chai-Star G, for folks to follow you. Has some really fantastic things with some apparel outlets. And then let's see, last thing, asked Junkyard for Target runs, LOL. Okay. All right. So my next show and tell item is, as we were just talking about black and white Sven, this is the black and white Sven. So this is the second of 3 versions of this action figure. When the Sven figure first came out, it said, I think in parentheses, the color version, which kind of told you, oh, probably a black and white version is going to come out at some point. So this is just a brilliantly executed black and white version of the figure. I do love it quite a bit. This one I'm going to keep in the box here. I did open up the color version, the first version that came out. You have Mr. C, the glow in the dark version, which you've shared on your Mr. C Dives In channel. Look at this guy.
Now, I remember the
Yeah.
time when this was first released from Super 7, and we can maybe break in a little bit of box art story on this too. I remember the time Terror Dave said that they should be sending each of us a box because we were between the two channels, between Fanboy Cantina and Mr. C Dives In, we put out maybe 5, I don't know, 6. We put out a good number of reviews. But to come up to maybe the 3D didn't work out for the Creature of the Black Lagoon, but we were doing 3. So again, as is the case, sometimes the glow in the dark will lose a little bit of integrity or clarity or detail. However, if that's the price to pay for getting the glow feature, then but even the rubber chicken glows in the dark. I didn't pre-plan this to actually hit the switch, but let me get the go ahead on to the next thing, and I'll try to get some as I'm taking the light around to get some charge on this guy. You had other show and tells?
Oh yeah, I have another show and so this is my final show and tell thing. So this one is
I'm going to jump while you're doing that and kill the rest of the lights while Glow Sven is charged.
I'll go to the single shot here. So this was on sale at disneystore.com. I think you can still get this for $7 now. It should be $14.99, or the original retail price is $14.99. And so I placed this order for R5Z0MB, so R5 Zombie. And so there was also a free shipping offer that happened last week. I think it was last week. So it arrived at my house yesterday. What did suck is thanks to shipping or whatever, the thing automatically unboxed itself. I open up the box. Yeah, I open up the shipping box and I think, oh, why is this bubble here? And then it's like, oh, the thing has come off the bubble, which is okay, not great, but it's okay. So I've got the thing here, and I do think it's. I'm not a big any holiday Star Wars, variant kind of collector thing. I'm struggling to get it out of the bubble. But what is cool about this is it's missing, part of its dome, like a zombie. So, as a cool novelty, as a cool sculpt, yeah, $7, free shipping. I'm in.
Let me come to Chi-Star's comment on that. Call MIB about the pre-unboxing. Now, that is a well-executed comment, and I'm not trying to disagree. However, we know MIB is just that, the master of mint inbox, and I'm never trying to hurt that man in his heart. But anytime there is a damaged package, as he using his own terminology, it pains MIB to see a mint thing downgrade, fall from grace, exit the mint condition.
It does suck. It did suck, but it was maybe the universe saying, "Yeah, you should open this thing up." So at some point, maybe later today, I'll figure out this thing is like really molded into its bubble. So they could figure out this part, couldn't figure out this part. But yeah, so available at disneystore.com. I think again, $6.98. All right, what you got, Mr. C?
Let me again both do a little bit of more anticipation, and let me get Glow in the Dark Sven just over here a little more time to charge. But let's jump into the world of Five Below.
All right.
And we know I like my Universal Monster calendar, but very similar to that, this was only a $5 item at Five Below. I don't know if they're still in stock in the physical stores, but 12 posters. They're mini. This is just a regular, whatever. It's a 8.5 by 11-ish size right here. Again, the cover art, I don't know the artist or the conglomeration of artists, but this looks a lot like what does get utilized in the Universal Monsters 12-month calendar. But as we're giving Sven a minute to charge. What a magnificent Frankenstein. Again, we're doing this in short format, but on my channel, I'll be
Oh my
doing a
goodness.
well. Then you get some creativity. Then you get the bride. Then you get again. So you get some conventional Basil Go-Go style, movie poster style stuff, and then you get also a more modernized or a creative license stuff in there. You got your Dracula. This one breaks the pattern a little bit, but again, showing the transformation from human form to maybe that's a bat ear up there. You got your classic looking mummy. You got your mummy in the shadows with some hieroglyphs. My guy, Lon Chaney Jr. Oh, now I got 2 Wolfmen in the screen with me. That's 2 out of 3 Wolfmen's in the screen right now. And then again, this one with the palm reading in the woods, and again, this one's kind of creepy. So anyway, I'll be spending a little bit more time with that one on my channel. But now that we've given Sven enough time to charge, so again, the back of the package art, right? They're so cool that it glows. I won't get into reading the material. I did read it through on my own channel and my own review of them, so people should feel free to check out my archives. But okay, let me hold glow Sven
there we go.
in his spot as I reach over to click the light. Where's the knob? Where's the dial? What am I doing here?
Oh, the anticipation.
This ring, I'm pulling the whole stand closer over. I hope it doesn't topple. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let me send it back.
Oh my goodness.
All right, here we go. There we go. Now I got access to the and
oh, there you go. There you go.
Ooh, hey, scary. Hey, kids, right out of Conk Floyd, the rubber. So now let's contrast him to the back where he wasn't charging, right? So he's still got a decent little faded charge there, but it's
that is solid.
That is some
nice.
Yeah. And as we said, when the details make the thing, when the quality of the glow feature makes the thing, so absolutely the quality of the glow on this Super 7 product is top quality. And I see a little layered image there reflected into the back. We have a mirror to a mirror, so that's it's off of the glass of my Universal stuff. So that's even super cool. Okay, go ahead and bring yourself back in.
Very nice. That's really nice.
For the light. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a little bit of a jaded kind of feeling about the glow in the dark because a lot of the times, most of the time, it's there's maybe a little bit of a tint, but that one really pops. That truly glows in the dark.
As do the Mego glow in the darks that maybe 3 years ago now we did the Nosferatu and the glow in the dark Frankenstein, and they weren't quite this bright, or at least we weren't able to, with the flashlights I was using at the time, get them to a full luminescence, but they still come through in a completely functional, good way. If you're paying for a Mego glow in the dark character, you're not wasting your money. But as you're saying, there's a lot of other glow in the things that profess to be glow in the dark but don't quite make it to the finish line.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Well, that was really good. That was really good. I'm pretty good with the black and white and color, but that might be a compelling case for getting yet another spend to get the glow in the complete the set.
At least storage wise, it's a more compact.
Yes, that is a blessing. I've reverted back to this kind of the smaller figures. Well, I haven't been buying as many first off, but for the ones I get, I've been erring more towards the smaller scale figures because they cost less and they take less space, and they are quite cool, quite satisfying. All right. Well, this was a lot of fun, Mr. C.
I do have one closer, and let me be sure I can navigate share screen.
Okay. All right.
Well, here we go to share. We got.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
I've mentioned this on Mr. C Dives In, but let's be sure we're spreading the word because it is a beautiful thing to have a good comic shop to go to. It is really cool to be able to purchase stuff online also, but having a brick and mortar, a cool spot to be in, just can feel good in itself to be out and about, be it a record store, be it what have you, puts a little spring in your step, puts a little boost, a little good energy. Now, to be hanging out in any of these spots and having a good banter with the community there is even more enriching. I say all this to say, as is noted here, on their t-shirts and on the baseball hat I'm wearing. The Horror House, the three proprietors, Vince and Moses and Aaron, had to relocate. On the positive side, where we talk about crisis and opportunity, the physical plant of their shop had some complications. So they're about to relocate to, I believe the new address is 2842 North Milwaukee Avenue. So they will be right across the street from the Brood and right across the street from Brick a Brack. But if it is within someone's abilities, or if it is within your financial reach, their GoFundMe, as we can see, is right now at $9,491. I would say that's a very successful GoFundMe, but just $9 more would put them at $9,500. Would be a beautiful thing. And again, these are grown men, but in their lifespan, they're relatively young guys who are trying to adjust for a costly relocation from one brick and mortar shop to another. So I would, if it's possible, if it's within somebody's means and grasp, that would be great to contribute to the Horror House. And let me stop share now and come back to our standard format.
No, thank you for that. Yeah, and I'm just taking a look at their Instagram page, which I believe, oh shoot, it's yes, the Horror House Shop is their handle. I can't pull it up on this live stream here, but they check them out on Instagram. And because even though there is not a physical shop, they are still doing events. There's an event actually tomorrow in the Chicago area, the Halloween Kids Brunch between 10 and 2 p.m. And I don't know exactly where that is, so I'm not going to even try. Okay, I'm going to stop trying to look. But if you go to their Instagram, you can get more details about their events, as well as the GoFundMe and other activities that they've got going on as the year progresses. Yeah, thanks for the acknowledgement of the Horror House. It's
and as our crawl has indicated through the whole show right now, our relatively new pals at broaxiomoutpost.com. You drop in your Fanboy 10A. Let's see it go through the scroll one more time so we can read it accurately. But if you're looking to buy stuff in an online format, and if you're shopping around on Broaxiom, then right there, promo code is Fanboy, like Cantina, but CAN10A for 10% off. Get it? There's the 10 instead of the Cantina for your 10% off. Broaxiom Outpost. Knock it down.
Oh my goodness, you're doing the better shout outs than I am. All right, let's see. I think that's everything that we got. Hey, Mr. C, where can people follow you?
Well, they could follow me in the woods outside of Talbot Manor. They could follow me on Mr. C Dives In on YouTube, and always welcome. Well, I appreciate always saying to like and subscribe, but I'm cool with people just watching. I'm not trying to turn down likes. I'm not trying to turn down subscriptions, but all I want is for people to, if the content is enjoyable, them to watch and enjoy. Now, all that being said, I am also one of the co-moderators, the junior moderator within the world of Reddit for the Svengoolie community. So if you're looking for other ways to interact with Mr. C, I do welcome people to join the Svengoolie subreddit group, or the Universal Monsters Reddit. I'm not a mod over there, but I'm hanging out over there. Or the classical horror. Or, you might find me in the Chicago Bears on Reddit. But so I'm, it was Fanboy G who put me on a Reddit, and once I got running over there, I'm liking my hanging out over there. So obviously we can find Fanboy G right here on Fanboy Cantina, as well as
where else am I? Oh yeah, you can also follow us on Instagram as well as Threads. Not on the site formerly known as Twitter as much, but yeah, so you can follow us there. I'm not on Reddit as much as Mr. C.
We got to divide the territories.
We got to cover all the socials of medias out there. Well, thank you all for taking the time to hang out. And when's the next live stream? Again, for me, it's probably not Halloween because I got stuff, to kind of shepherd and stuff. But Mr. C. Actually, I'm surprised we're still here because you've been doing a better job of staying on schedule. Is there not a Mr. C guest for tonight? Are we totally intruding on?
No, 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 no,
There's
no,
some
no,
guy in the
no, no,
StreamYard saying,
you
"Let
know,
me in." Like,
somebody's knocking on the virtual door on my own channel, and I'm not answering because I'm over here. It's very Svengoolie, hand at the door reference right there. But no, tonight we're just hanging out over here. It is possible. Where'd I just put the Five Below guy? It is possible if I get some gumption that I will come back and break this down in a greater degree of detail. But soon enough, we will be looking at that. I've watched the independent movie The Creep by my former guest and probably future guest. And okay, here we're trying to wind down, but now I got to say,
we gotta go. We gotta keep going. We gotta keep going.
All right, we will keep going. That's for crying out loud.
Yeah.
So in Reddit, I find artist Gary Ray, and so hey, could you come? And then Gary's been on twice, and we've broken down his monster themed and sci-fi themed art. And then he says, "Hey, I'm also a musician. I've done independent movie." And then Gary, I didn't ask for it, but it was a very generous offer, and I'm glad to receive it. Sends me this DVD copy of The Creep. Somewhere it says right here, it's Ray Film Productions. So it's his production studio. I don't know how well anyway. So this is new territory. We've spoken on Disney Plus. We've spoken on movies. We've spoken on toys. But this will be my first independent movie review coming soon on the Mr. C Dives In to get into all the creepiness of The Creep. They talk about homages, talk about vibe, talk about energy. I mean, it is, and then the gem for those of us within the horror world. Let me first reference. I was not at the time really with the film, the monster magazines. And then one time at Aw Yeah Comics in beautiful downtown Skokie, there's Dan Didio with the Svengoolie comic book release. And I had a brief moment to speak with Dan, and he was talking about the influence on him of Forrest J. Ackerman, the force behind the monster magazines. So then here comes in here. Look at that. There's Forrest Ackerman right here. So I'm like, I'm at least twice over mind blown that Gary would be cool to send me a copy of this. I'm giving it a positive review, but I'll soon be putting a detailed review, maybe on Halloween night, maybe shortly after. We'll have to see how it all breaks.
That sounds excellent. That sounds excellent. I would love to see on the Mr. C Dives In channel, the movie review kind of thing. I would like to do that more on this channel. We've talked about it before, and I just haven't gotten to it as often. Yeah, Mr. C, the promo machine is right. That's absolutely right. I did have visions of like somebody in the Phantom Zone, trying to get into the Mr. C StreamYard with two other people, smashed with their faces on the glass.
Yeah.
So maybe you'll see more Mr. C this evening, maybe at a later time. But yeah, let's address the Jim Campbell question. What's your go-to Halloween movie? That's a good one.
Did you see this stuff? My go-to Halloween movie could include the Wolfman, could include the Creature, could include Frankenstein, could include a Dracula, could include a Nosferatu, definitely includes some Svengoolie, but I think Jim's setting us up intentionally here at the Pickwick Theater, and I do have the pictures, and I didn't.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh la la, oh my. So for the first time ever, and again, this is coming more detail on my own channel somewhere in the near future, I've seen these movies, but I have not seen them on the big screen. So when Jim Campbell tipped me off to, I think it was Jim that tipped me off to it, but I'll give Jim credit all the same, because Jim gets a lot of credit, should get a lot of credit around these parts. On the big screen at the classic Pickwick Theater. So Pickwick is built in 1925, maybe 1927. Not exactly 1941, but of that classic black and white era. So now seeing the Wolfman on the big screen, wow. It was just great. Sometimes the bigger screen. Jim is indeed the man. Oh, wait.
We're both trying. There we go. Yeah.
That it's hard to beat that. Now, again, seeing Godzilla on the big screen back to Godzilla Fest, that was kind of cool also, but it resonated with me to see the Wolfman on the big screen for the first time.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I took a pass on seeing Godzilla on the big screen. I forget which Godzilla. There was a Godzilla Fest here in San Francisco a couple of months ago. I passed on. It wasn't really. I think I did the right thing. It was at that time. It was like on a jumbotron kind of, not even a jumbotron. It was just projected onto the big thing. So I missed out on that. But there is a joy in seeing it venue wise at the theater, but then also with other people. Just to have that communal aspect of those types of films and seeing them again. That's a great thing. For me, let's get to the comments here. Blair Witch Project. Okay. Yeah, it's traumatic.
The me after the three of us seeing Blair Witch together, sleeping with my shoes on, with the lights on. I did not respond well. If we're measuring calmness as post movie, man, oh man.
Yeah, that was
scared me to the core.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, Godzilla -1 coming back. I think also with some added footage layered in somehow. So that will be excellent. That would be excellent. Highly recommend. I don't think. Well, I don't know. I know I had a very good theater run, but probably a lot of people didn't get to partake in that because why? I saw it on the big screen. Thought it was amazing. I don't know if I'm going to go back to see it, but I'm curious what the new footage will be. That would be excellent to check out. Yeah, yeah. So as a horrific aspect too, when we saw Blair Witch together, somebody just started banging on the door, reverberating through the theater. Holy crap!
And this many years later, I'm still wondering, did they intentionally time it? But it was like it could have been at a random conversational moment within the cinematography, within the movie playing out on the screen. But it was, I can't say what exact timestamp moment it happened in the movie, but it was for sure at a tension builder. So, and I think we were in the back row or near the back.
Yeah, we were in the back.
I can't remember if I was sitting in the middle between you guys, but
yeah.
I definitely said, we got to be ready.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Let me laugh now at how fearful I felt 20, 30 years ago.
It was terrifying. It was genuinely terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have for me like a go-to Halloween movie as a thing that we have talked about. Maybe what we could do in the future for a live stream is Greg hates horror movies because I claim at least to not enjoy horror movies. It's just not my genre. That said, I think I watch more modern horror movies than you do.
Absolutely, without question. Without question. Like stacking. Here's my number of movies. Here's your number of movies of color horror movies, and so but therein lies the interesting premise or the juxtaposition. Oh, I hate these movies, but I've seen them. I'm fearful of these movies, but I don't see them. But clearly on the classic, the black and white, the universal, I'm right there.
Yep. So I'm not going to watch Terrifier 3 probably ever, much less the first two or even the first two. Probably, that's a little further than I am. But for other stuff, yeah, maybe. So I don't have a go-to horror movie or a Halloween film. I am going to watch The Great Pumpkin because I have to do that. It's probably one of the main reasons I keep Apple TV Plus still. I might have the DVD lying around, but yeah, I do regularly watch that. I was just thinking about what would be a Halloween movie. And the one that actually came into my head is E.T.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a Halloween movie because there's trick or treating in there. There's I think the very first mention of Boba Fett by name is actually in E.T. So yeah, I do enjoy that movie. Doesn't quite count, does it? I don't know.
Halloween season. So not okay. So again, the different territory, but is what do you call it? The Bruce Willis, the thing. Is that a Christmas movie?
Die Hard, yes,
All right, thank you.
which it is, but yes.
Okay, so if Die Hard's a Christmas movie, then E.T. is just as well a Halloween movie, as well as a sci-fi movie, as well as a boy a coming of age story. So there you have it.
Maybe. We had talked about doing a Werewolf by Night episode, which we're running out of October.
Yeah, that could be post party. Jim is asking, as Jim always lays out the most important questions of all.
Yeah. So yes, Boba Fett is in ET, and actually in his appearance on, I think, both the holiday special from 1977 or 78. Uh, he's not mentioned by name, and also I believe that's right. I'm not entirely sure. And in Empire Strikes Back, he's never mentioned as Boba Fett. So the first time that you hear Boba Fett is actually in ET, the extraterrestrial.
And
Yes.
the character is not there in pursuit of the ET character of the extraterrestrial, Jim, but it is referenced as was the. Did they put ET in the Yoda costume? Is that what they did, or
Well, the ET is walking, and then he sees Yoda coming at him. He
there it
says,
is?
"Home, home!" But it's actually with Elliot, who's playing with his Star Wars action figures, and he says, "This is Boba Fett," and I think that's actually the first time that Boba Fett is said on.
Yeah, talk about good pitch job right there. You're in your own you're in your own studio industry. Your production company. That's what you're in your own production company, and you go across the street from Star Wars to ET, and then you're doing a plug. Go buy your Star Wars toys because Elliot's playing with them too.
That's right. Exactly. That's right. Oh yes, and this is also true.
The other side of the coin.
Yeah, ET is in the Phantom Menace. Yeah, a full circle. Actually, I'm not quite sure what a circle is. Maybe it's a curly Q kind of design, but yes, yeah. All right. Well, Mr. C, we've been together for 90, so let's head on out of here. Thank you so much for spending the time.
Always a good time. Circle of Life says Chai Star is probably the last comment that's coming across. I'm going to go find some dinner. I'm going to kick the table here accidentally as I'm trying to get up. I'm going to go put on Svengoolie for the Bonanza double feature. We'll see how long I stay awake. Have a happy Halloween, everybody. We should be back again next year for 4th consecutive Halloween special on the Fanboy Cantina. Thank you, Jim Campbell. Thank you, Chai Star. Thank you, Mandarin, for resurfacing. That's all I got.
All right. We'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And we'll go over and out. Thanks so much. Take care. Hit the like, hit the subscribe.